their cameras. As always, my humble request to everyone, please let's turn on their cameras. I see a couple of new names. By now, I have memorized some of the regular names, but it's good to see some new ones here. Hey guys, can we please turn on the cameras so we know that we're all present and we can start today's session. Okay, I see a couple of you are in. Okay, sorry guys, some more people are joining in, but that's okay. Okay, everyone. Since I see there are a couple of new faces today, let me go on and introduce myself first. My name is Ilakshi. I'm the language trainer here with Learn French with Anks. I live out of Montreal, and I'm here to take your second session today, which is a sequence session on phonetics, what we did last class. Okay, so a lot of people that I see have joined in from the previous session, and a lot of new faces as well. So I want to welcome a warm welcome to everybody who's joined us for the first time. I hope that all of you walk out today with a great experience and a new learning. And I hope this adds value to your already ongoing sessions with your respective trainers and online classes. Okay, everyone else, please requesting you all to turn on your cameras. Let me see your faces, just as you can see mine. It's only fair that I see yours too. So please let's try and turn on the cameras. Even if you guys are outside, that's okay. You can be on mute, of course. Okay. Let's do a quick fill-in of what we did last time and what we're going to be doing today. The last session that we had last week was based on a very, very important topic, which was phonetics. And since I explicitly explained that it's a long session, we've divided our topics into two. So last week, we talked about a couple of important elements that really help us navigate through our pronunciation in the French language, which is usually a big challenge for people, even if at their B1 or B2 level. They ace their grammar, they ace their concepts, but still struggle a lot with their pronunciation. So we thought that let this be a long ongoing session wherein we can work on that outside the classroom. Okay, so for those of you who are here for the first time and have not already seen last week's live, I would suggest that once you get a chance to, because it's available online, have a look at it too, just to get a deeper understanding of what we did last time. But nevertheless, even if you haven't gone through it yet, today's session is just going to be a fresh new thing for you. And the learning that you're going to do today is just an extension of what you did last time. So I hope you take back a lot more information. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen with you guys. You know the drill. Once you see it, give me a heads up, give me a thumbs up so I know that you guys can see my screen. Allô. Voilà. Est-ce que c'est visible maintenant? I hope you guys can see my screen. Yes. Wow. Okay, everybody, thumbs up. Yes, no, can you see my screen? Are we all together? Are we all ready to get started? Guys, I need to know, so all of you, either you guys can do a thumbs up on the ones who are there on the screen, sharing their cameras. I can visually see you, so that's perfect, superb. Those who are cameras are turned off, please be kind enough to leave a message on the chat, so at least I see that. Okay, perfect, superb, lovely, thank you. Okay, now that all of us can see the screen, let's do a quick recap of what we did last time. Since we, okay, last week's session was based on 5 major things, okay? The first one, la première, ça c'était les alphabets, which was the alphabets and how do we do the pronunciation? What are the sounds of those alphabets? Okay, for those of you getting a little off about my hand, sorry guys, Indian festivities, so just don't get all off about my hands. Okay, the second thing that we covered was about consonants and how their pronunciations are. We explicitly talked about the pronunciation of the consonants C and G, as we say C and G en français, and how the sounds change to hard C's and hard G's. When is it K? When is it S? When it is G? When it is J? We talked about the variations of that. The third part was entirely based upon silent letters, which was our universal rule called dipsticks, wherein when we have these letters at the end of the word, we don't pronounce them. For example, grand, show, throw, pity. An unsaid rule that a lot of people don't know how to pinpoint, but that's what it is. When you have these letters at the end of a word, we don't pronounce it, and that's where it comes from. We also then followed through in talking about the French accents, which are very primary. There are those strange little designs that we see on top of some letters, such as our vowels, which sometimes give us a sound, and sometimes they're just there for the purpose of spellings. The fifth and the last stretch last week was about liaison. What is liaison? A quick recap: it's nothing but a bridge. So if I want to go from this word to this one, I have to create a bridge. That means I have to make sure that my words are connected. And that's what liaison is. So we talked about many examples such as ilson. That means if the subject is followed by a vowel, I will have a liaison, ilson, instead of being ils. Oh, they're not two separate things. We're going to make it together. We talk nous avons, vous êtes. So that sound of z, which is a connecting sound, is what we call liaison. So these were the 5 elements that we covered in massive details last week. So for those of you who attended the session, I hope that this was a quick recap. And for those who didn't, I hope that all of these elements interest you enough to go back to the video from last week and just review it. Okay? All right. Now, what can you expect in today's session? So today's 1-hour session is going to talk a lot about vowels, the combination sounds. When I say combination sound, that means when we put certain letters and certain alphabets together, inevitably in the language, they give us a certain fixed sound. And if we know about these fixed sounds in the beginning, it just makes it a lot easier for us to associate those sounds as and when we come across new words. We're also going to be looking at the few nasal sounds, our ons and ahs, just to understand how can we associate them. So let's dive right into it. We're going to begin with the first part. La première partie, ce serait le voyelle. We're going to talk about vowels. Now, very basic. We all know that there are 5 vowels in total. A, E, I, O, U. We've grown up learning about the 5 vowels at the end of English language. Just add 2 more to it in French, which is Y and H, which is Y and H. These are also considered to be vowels in French. Now, there are certain interesting sounds. Just the way last time we discovered more about consonants, this time let's focus a little bit on the voyelle, which is the vowels. Allez-y. The first one, A, which we call as A. The sound is A. We always remember, it's never going to be A. Never. So whenever you put the sound of A with any consonant, it should give you the A sound and not the A sound. Okay? This is what, and we're going to do the same thing as we did last time. All of you can be on mute. Okay? But try to reflect what I'm saying. Okay? So mirror what I'm saying. And this is a standard practice I always reinforce and reiterate every session. The practice of mirroring is when you're alone and you want to practice your pronunciations and without the presence of a classmate or a trainer. This is what you do. You open up videos, or pull up their captions or their subtitles, or all the least you can do is let them say one line, pause, repeat. So this way you're actually mirroring. You inevitably try to improve your pronunciation that way. And this is a practice you can do when you're alone. You do not need a trainer for this. You do not need a counterpart for this. All right. So today, let's try to do that once again as we did last time. Okay. Try to pronounce the words after me because we're working on phonetics. Okay. The pronunciation of the alphabet A is A. So whenever I put that together, A, me, papa, salade, table, Canada. If you notice, never will it be Amy, never will it be salade, table, Canada. No, because the A sound, that's not the sound. Okay, the sound is A. So every time you see the letter alphabet A being associated and combined with any other consonant, the sound should be A. The second one, the alphabet E. the pronunciation is always a and not e. Okay, let's try to flush out what we know of English. Okay, it's a. The difference, whenever e has an accent aigu on top of it, it makes the sound a. In the presence of that accent aigu, my sound is a, without which the sound is a. So let's say I put the accent aigu, which gives me the sound a, bebe, te, cinéma, école, clé. A very funny thing to notice here. If I did not have that accent, bebe, te, cinéma, école. That's how the sounds would be if I did not have the accents. Blindly, that would be the sound. But because I have the accent on top of my letter E, it's A. A. The way in English you have say, de, may, that A sound, that's what you pull up. On the contrary, when you have the accent grave, which means the accent going downwards towards the grave, the sound is eh, eh. So, mère, fête, très, tête. Okay? Now, a differentiation. Since the sound of the letter E is if you do not have any accent, it remains the same Hence, le livre, petite, semaine, cheval. Okay, notice clearly. I'm not saying lay, I'm not saying la, I'm not saying pay or pair. The sound is a standard le, p, sh, sh. Why? Because the sound of E in general, the alphabet E, as we call in French, is a. So we'll stick to that. Pulling a little further, we will see that the alphabet I in English, since in French, is E, a stretched E. Whenever we put it, we'll stick to the E sound. So this one is ici, ici, livre, livre, fi, ville, finir. In no place will it be finir or val, no other sound. I is E, a flat E. So ici, livre, fi, ville, finir. Okay? Let's move on to our fourth vowel, which is the vowel O. Now, O has two sounds, okay? O and O. All right? So the smaller O, that's the closed O, and O, which is an open O. You don't need to know the difference between the two. Just know that there are two sounds to it, and this is how you resonate. Your examples such as E, A, U put together will give you O. O. Hotel. Shows. Bateau. Mo. On the contrary, when you have the open O, which is O, okay, porte, bonne, sol. Okay, so there are practically two differences in the sound. Either it will be a closed O, like rose, or O, hotel, bateau, or it is going to be a little bit of an open O, which is O. So, porte, bonne, ou sol. Okay, do we follow the sound difference? Okay, we have the final one, which is U. In French, we say U, U. We don't have anything very similar in English to compare it with. So let's just understand how the pronunciation is going to go. The pronunciation, let's take a few examples. Yun, tu, jus, rue, lune. So you notice that there's a slight U sound to all of them. We're not overemphasizing on anything, nothing hard. Just understand, guys, as a European language, French, we don't have to enunciate too much. We learn this in English, okay? Try to enunciate every syllable. That's when you get it right. Just be at ease. Let your tongue, let it just go with ease, as if you were sedated. Just to understand that it's gonna go real ease, okay, with absolute ease. So une, tu, jus, rue, lune. Okay, don't even take that much of stress in trying to pronounce it. It's and the moment you stop thinking of that enunciation, you'll get it right. Okay, so it's a slight une. Now, while a, e, I, o, u, like I said, are the main vowels, we have y, which is y, and ash, two additional ones in French. Y is treated as a vowel, and we call it y. And usually, the pronunciation when you put it with words is e. Okay, we don't literally call it y when we put it with words. And how do we understand that? So the first spelling, this is lycée. Now, why is it lycée? First of all, we've just understood that the sound of y is e, the same as the alphabet I, so it's e, which means li. Followed by e with an accent is supposed to be a. So lycée, which is high school. Style. Okay, why is it style? Now, looks exactly the same word in English, means exactly the same, but in English it's y and it's style. Okay, in French, because the alphabet y in itself has a sound of e, I'll just put it there and let it flow. So it's style. And we already discovered one thing in the last session about the consonants, that the sound of the alphabet T, it's T, T. The T doesn't exist. So it's always going to be T, T. So style, cycle, mayonnaise, mayonnaise. Next, our final one, which is ash, it is never pronounced. It's always silent in maximum cases. For example, we have H mute, which is silent. And this is the one which helps us do a lot of bridging, liaisons. And we have called as something called as ash aspire, which means this is the one that blocks the liaison, but still is silent. Let's look at it, okay? The H mute or silent actually allows us to do a lot of liaisons and connecting of the sound, and this makes the pronunciation very fluent. H ash aspire, this blocks the liaison and makes sure that we understand that, hey, the words are distinctly going to be pronounced. So let's look at some examples for ash mute, which is silent. For example, l'homme, l'homme. What is happening? Ash is silent, so let's assume it doesn't exist. So I'm just connecting the sound of my article le with o. So l'homme. Okay, so just assume it doesn't exist there. Here, again, let's assume that the alphabet ash is not there. Okay, remove it. So you connect the last consonant with the next word. So it's les hôpitaux. Okay, this is for you to understand the liaison. Your word ending with a consonant connects with the vowel to make it sound like one whole sound, one continuous sound, a thread. So les hôpitaux, leur, les habitudes, l'hôpital, les histoires. Clearly, all that we're doing is we're basically not looking at the ash. Whatever's left, we're connecting sounds. And that's what makes it perfect. On the contrary, when we have ash aspire, there, I'm just going to scroll down, you don't link the words. So, le héros, les haricots, la haine, les hectares, le hibou. I'm not connecting the two sounds. They're distinct sounds, but that doesn't mean I'm going to start saying her. Okay? That's the different two sounds that Ash can give you. All right? Now, this is an interesting part. A few combination letters that if you know, no matter what word comes across, sorry, you will be able to crack the pronunciation and come close to it. Let's say we take the first one. O and U put together will always give you the sound of oo. Oo. It can either be written in the form of OUE, OUX, OUS, doesn't matter. As long as O and U come together, the sound will be oo. Hence, mu, too loose. So there are two times OU and OU. So too, lu, too loose. Through way, fu, cuckoo. There's no and whatever possible or sounds that can you think of, flush all of them down. O U put together is always going to give you oo. Okay. On the other hand, second thing, O and I put together, it's pronounced as wa. Wa. Okay. So whenever you see the combination, always remember it's going to be wa. Let's say a couple of words together, okay? And everybody try to please mirror it because it's really helpful. It is childish, but while you're learning a new language from scratch, so let's just do it the way it is. Moi, toi, loi, choix, poisson, boisson, roi. Absolutely. Just so look what's happening here. This is moi, toi, loi, choix, poisson, boisson, roi. Okay? So OI put together would give you the sound of wa. Okay? Next. EU put together or OEU put together gives you the sound of a. It's not U, OE, U, nothing. E and U. Whenever they come together as a combination, it's a. A. So words like je veux, je peux, feu, Now what's happening? Let's use a couple of things. Dipsticks rule, DPSTX. In the end, we don't pronounce it, right? Which is why we don't pronounce the X in both the cases. So technically what I'm left with is VEU and PEU. Now I know for a fact that EU put together gives me a. So je veux, je peux. End of story. If I look at the last one, H we just saw, we don't pronounce ash, right? So eliminate that from your vision. E you put together and R E put together R. So Okay. Let's assume hypothetically there was a word in which we had an accent aigu. Hypothetically, there's not a word, guys. Okay, let's say there was. Since I know the phonetic rule that the moment if E has an accent aigu, the sound is A, it would have become a re. So let the word not exist. But you know the rule, you can actually ace the pronunciation. That's what I'm trying to talk about here. Okay? Let's continue. If, which is egg, if. Next, AU or EAU put together. O. O. It's a big O. All right, the way we say in English, we say so, and we say it with all the oomph in it. That's what your O is about. Okay, so when you see words like, everybody after me, auto, always remember in English this word is auto. Why? Because in English, AU put together gives me the O sound. In French, right now, in front of you, it tells you that AU is O. So it doesn't matter in whichever other language, whichever way it sounds. Right now, AU put together gives you O. So put two and two together, auto. End of story. Audio. Okay, it's never going to be audio. Audio is English. Audio is French. You're applying two rules of phonetics right now. Number one, you know you're putting in AU put together is O. You just saw that the vowel E put together with the consonant is going to be E. So O, D, O, audio. Okay? Aussi, chaud, jaune, tableau, cadeau, château. Okay? Common points for everyone. Guys, just look at it. They're all ending in O. So the sound is O. All right? So auto, audio, aussi, chaud, jaune, tableau, cadeau, château. One tip for everybody. Whenever you see the alphabet J, please note there is no J sound. So under no circumstances will you ever say J. You'll never have to. Nobody will put you through that pain. Okay? So it's always going to be J. Okay? So jaune, jardin, je, always je. There is no J in the language, so you'll never have to use it. So never be in double minds. Oh, is it supposed to be J? Can't be, doesn't exist. Okay? Now, fifth rule. ILLE put together, combined together is E. E. The L's are silent, but they add a sound very similar to the alphabet E. Like, okay? And when preceded by a consonant like fami, fi. Okay, so if I look at the terms, fami, fi, fi. Now let's see why is it fi. Recap. We know that EU put together is a, so fur, and you know that ILLE put together is E. So it's technically fur, E, fi. Make sense? So this is you combining two phonetic rules that you know to get that one pronunciation right. And if you know these pronunciations, these phonetic rules by heart, you'll look at a word and even if you don't know the meaning, you'll know the pronunciation at least. So half the job is done. Okay. So what you've done here, you've combined, you've dissected it. Okay. FEU, you know that the sound of EU is a. ILLE, you know that the sound of that is E. So what are you doing? F, E, F, F. And that's what gives you the pronunciation. Okay. Next, BA, BA, gaspiller, gaspiller, kami, kami. Just know that there's a small tweak and exception there, that after a vowel, the sound becomes y if there's a vowel after. So travailler, the sound is a little bit on the y side. Okay, détailler, habiller, so the sound a little bit goes towards y, or y when you have a vowel before as well. Just something to know of. Okay. Sixth rule now. AIL, REL put together gives you the sound of Y. Okay. which is sort of a nasal sound, but not too emphatic. Okay, so for example, chandelle, détail, travail, porter. So it's a sound, like a, I. All right. Seventh, the sh, the ch put together. In English, for me, it's ch. Okay, like chat. In French, my ch is the same as my sh, because the ch doesn't exist again. So what doesn't exist can't be pronounced in the language, right? So ch, wherever you see it, it's sh. Chandelle, chat, chaud, chien, chambre, cher. Perfect. So whenever you see ch together, understand that there's no other possibility. It will be sure, because ch doesn't exist. Okay. UI put together. That's your eighth rule, guys. UI put together gives you the sound of we. We. So oui, nuit, fruit, cuir, Suisse. Okay. Once again, oui, nuit, fruit, cuir, Suisse. Just a little bit of a we sound. Okay, we. That's why when you say je suis. Okay, so it's a we sound. Super. We'll continue. Those were some very, very basic combinations. Once again, let's just look at it just as a quick recap. OU put together is oo, oo. OI put together wa, wa. Moi, toi, loi, moi. EU put together is v, p, f, AU put together is O, like audio, auto, OC. It's not O at all. ILLE put together is E, famille, fei, fi, all E sounds. AIL put together is a sound which is familiar to Y in English, like I. So chandelle, détail, travail, porter. CH, no brainer, sure sound. Okay. Chandelle, chat, chaud, chien. Sure sound. Ch doesn't exist. UI put together is oui. Oui. So oui, nuit, fruit. It's a very weird mouth structure, but oui. Okay. Now let's come to the final leg of what we have at hand, which is the nasal sounds. Okay. This troubles us a lot sometimes, but let's just understand in a lot more detail. Okay. These are some sounds which are made by pushing air through the nose. Okay. Sometimes it's the aw sound, sometimes it's the ah sound, and it just comes and goes. And I think, even if you know the combination of words, you'll still get lost somewhere if you do not know these nasal sounds. So let's understand them a little bit more in detail. We have EN, AN, EM, and AM put together. All these four have the same combination sound, which is on. Okay. So you gotta like, oh, perfect. So let's try a couple. Okay. In this particular one, I have EN, EM, both the sounds with me. So that means twice I'm gonna do that nasal on sound. Okay. Ensemble. Okay. En is on, so on. Em is again on, so ensemble. Perfect. Next one. Ambassade. Perfect. So ambassade. I tell everybody that whenever you see a bigger word, something that with a lot of alphabets, try to break it down, dissect it, and try to figure out the phonetics that you know of with each of them to come closest to its actual pronunciation. So if it's AM, that's the word. Let's dissect it, okay? On va la diviser entre trois parties peut-être, okay? On ba, no, quatre parties. On ba sad. That's fine. Trois, c'est okay. On ba sad. Perfect. We know AM is on. We know BA. A as a vowel coming with any consonant is ba because we did the rule ma, ta, ba, la. So a sound. SSA again sa, and DE put together the because E doesn't give me any A or A sound unless there is a vowel accent. So om ba sad. Done. Okay. Let's try the next one. France. Perfect. Important. Son. Son. Again, it'll never be sons. Why? My dipsticks rule tells me because it's following through and ending with an S, I don't pronounce it. Okay, DPSTX falling at the end of the word. Don't pronounce it. Don't need to until unless it has to connect to a sound which is following through. So song, blanc, ton. Now, funnily, what happens in the word ton? My dipsticks rule tells me if these are the four letters at the end of any word, you don't need to like emphatically pronounce it. This one on the other, this one has S, so not pronouncing it, has P, again not pronouncing it. So what are you left with? Tom. So that's what you pronounce. Which is why whenever you say Tom, that's incorrect on multiple different levels. This is why. Okay, so it's never quel temps fait-il. It's quel temps fait-il. Temps. End of story. Okay. Enfant. Okay, again, if I break it down, enfant. So I know en put together is en, fan. Now an again, an has a sound of en. So enfant. And the T I don't have to pronounce, right? Because lipsticks. So what are you left with? Enfant. When will you pronounce the T? When it is, or if it is TE. Whenever your consonant gets followed by a vowel, that's when it actually gets a little bit of value to emphatically enunciate and pronounce it. So, enfant. Okay? If it's not there, enfant. Okay? Once again, ensemble, ambassade, France, son, blanc, temps, enfant. Superb. Let's go to our second nasal, which is ON or OM. Okay, this gives me a certain sound, like you know how you say on, that's the sound it gives you. So bon, bonne, bonbon, bonbon, no, tomber, maison, garçon, bonjour. Perfect. If you notice here, we're not saying between the two of them the difference in the sound. This is bon, this is bonne. Okay, from now, I mean, I know that this is something that you know by now, but let me just go out of the limb and ask anyway. Can you guys just put it in the chat and tell me why is this bon and why is it bon? Just put it in the chat. Tell me why is it. Okay, sorry, I have a few people writing in. Okay, how will we know which? is there any rule to identify the, okay. So I have two questions which come in with O. What about wheel? Wheel is an exception. So we pronounce wheel. It doesn't come in my category of fee and family. Um, Cause of E in the end, which is perfect. Open and close O. Presence of E in the end, perfect. Masculine and feminine, perfect. O and on following by E, followed by E, hence the sound. It followed by, very good. For masculine and feminine, it's born, perfect. Makes sense. Okay, perfect. Now I think that that's a no-brainer. Everybody understands that. I have two people who've asked me, how do we understand the difference between the two O sounds? Okay, let's look at it from this perspective. Um, Guys, like a very easy way to understand would be that in most cases, majority of the cases, your sound is going to be O because E, A, U or O in general will give you the O sound. Okay, there is a rare list of O sounds. Let me just try to put something on the chart for you guys. Maybe that helps. Something that I hope it helps. I'm not too sure. Okay. Um. Okay. We're just going to write it. I think I can send the whole doc here, but maybe I can get it attached. Okay, I can't say, I'm not able to attach it, but I'm just going to send it like the memory trick that we use, which is O open jaw and O, which is a rounded jaw. The best way to memorize them would be that maximum them since come with O, that's your first instinct. Okay, there's only a limited vocabulary which will come with that open shaped of O, which, as like you saw a couple of lists today, it's going to be centered around that. Okay, so don't really push yourselves too much. Oh, is it going to be O or O? Because when you're speaking in a certain tone and a certain thread, doesn't really bother much. Okay, so that's not your place of getting stuck, to be very honest. Okay, so don't get too much into it that you get confused. Okay, keep it simple for yourself till here. Okay, all right. Da, da, da. Let me just move forward from here. Okay. Now the third one is a little funny because IN, IM, AIN, EIN, and UIN. Once again, IN, IM, AIN, EIN, and UIN. This gives you the A sound. A. This is as if you were opening your mouth vertically up. A. But it's nasal. Okay. A. A. Some people call it the smile mouth because your mouth goes like a little wider. Okay, and sometimes it just goes a little so ma, ah, ah. So va, it will never be ween, wong, nothing. I understand that we did the phonetic rule that we did the rule that okay, if it's with consonant and I, it should be v, ni, b, t. Agreed. But here I and n as a combination gives you the a sound. So that supersedes. So va, pa, matin, fin, fin, lapin. Okay. So always remember, while I comes, whenever it comes with any consonant, agreed, it's going to be E sound. Always. Me, ti, bi, li. True. But when it's with the combination of IN or IM, the rule of the nasal sound supersedes. So it's vin, pain, matin, fin, fin, lapin. Okay. So always keep an eye out for it. Okay. Main, demain. Okay. Next, your TION and SION both in French is going to be Sion. Sion. Okay. We did almost of these vocabulary you're gonna see right now when we did feminine and masculine as well, because it was to explain to you guys that hey, words ending with TION and SION are all feminine in the language. So we did the same list of words, very similar list of words. In fact, when we did that lesson and that the workshop on that. But a recap on it. TION and SION gives you the sound of sion. Okay, so éducation, formation, attention, nation, organisation. Okay, now let's see. It's a big word. Like I said, we're going to dissect it whenever we get started. Okay, so organisation. Make sense? So it's a bigger word. Just to make sure you don't go wrong, break it down into syllables. Nobody's stopping you. Try to make 3, 4, 5, whatever you please. It's a hit or miss. Just try that out to get it right. So you'll understand that O and R. Okay, put together or. G and A put together ga, because whenever G is followed by A, it gives me the hard G sound. So ga. N and I put together. So I is E, right? So ni. S and A is za. Sion. TION is sion. So organisation. Perfect. So once again, éducation, formation, attention, nation, organisation. Anybody who wants to try this word? This is an English word, but how would you pronounce it in French? Anybody can unmute themselves. Please go ahead, be my guest. Let's pronounce it.
Situation.
Perfect. Situation. Very nice. Done the same thing. Very good. This was Sagar, right? Sagar,
Yes,
c'était
ma'am.
vous qui a répondu? Oui. OK. Super. Très bien. Si, toi, sion. Situation. Okay. Let's try. Is there anybody else who wants to also try?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Let me give another word. Banu, c'était vous, non? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Banu. Alors,
It's
essayez, s'il vous plaît.
décoration.
Super. Décoration. Very good. DE with an accent, they. CO put together is co, not so. Perfectly said. Why? Because C when followed by O gives you the hard k sound. So co. R-A-Ra. Sion. Décoration. Okay? Always remember that. It's going to be so much easier for you if you start dissecting bigger words. You'll get the pronunciation now. Super, Banu. Merci. Merci pour participer. Okay, next one. GN put together is near. 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 Okay, everybody try that, okay, before we do the examples. Near. So when we look at some examples, montagne, perfect, campagne, compagnon, Allemagne. Please note, g, no. You don't have to say the g here, because GN put together will automatically dilute the sound and make it near. So montagne, champagne, campagne, Allemagne, all near sounds. Okay. UN put together, that's our sixth. It's it's not okay, like this basically like you say that's it. Somebody on the chat putting anything? Okay, okay, you have a doubt. Please go ahead. Please ask. You want me to pronounce that again for you?
Just the doubt is that okay, it ends with the ON also. So whether
Okay.
after the GN there is a ON also.
Okay, so let's dissect it there. Okay, we're gonna take the whole word. Okay, and we're gonna break it down. So we know that com, because I read the nasal sound o and o. So com, pa is pa, near, and the on has to be o again. Correct? So
Ah,
compagno, compagno.
okay. So after UH again the sound.
Correct. Okay,
Okay.
because on gives me that element. Hey, this is where you need your nasal sound of on. So compagno, compagno.
So what is that? The previous one, that countryside, that
Okay, that is campagna. Okay, we'll put that also here, okay? Just for a contrast. Now, what's happening there? Similar. Pa. Similar till here?
yep.
Oh, I wrote in the spelling incorrect. Sorry. Now, pa. Pa. Okay, more or less. That's fine till here. Now, here it ends for me at near. Near.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
compagna.
Okay.
Compagna. Compagna. Here it goes on up till compagno. Compagno.
Okay.
Okay. So it's the o difference and the difference. So compagno stops there.
Mhm.
Compagnon goes towards the o sound because it has an extra on in the end right here. This is the extra version.
Yeah.
Okay.
The only difference is that, so it is very
The
difficult when
last.
yeah,
Correct. The
listening.
only difference is the tail there. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
So,
the only difference.
ma'am, it is companion and companion.
Hmm.
Okay.
Both is compagnon, compagnon, both. Oh, compagnon, compagnon. Because AM and OM both give you the O sound.
Okay.
So that's why I said that both of them are similar. Papa similar, near similar. So everything up till here is the same. But what is different? In the second one, you have an extended tail of O. That's it.
Yeah. And the two
Okay?
are very different meanings. So while
Yeah, they are very
listening,
different meaning. The O, the extra O changes it completely.
yeah. So while listening, it will be a context based, I believe.
Yeah, true. But I hope that the sound is okay. Okay, all of you do one thing. I'll say the words out. Try to repeat just these two. Okay, campagna, compagno, compagna, compagno. Cool. Subtle difference towards the tail. Okay, the UN sound, which is the sound, lundi, chacun, brun. Sound, no complication. IEN put together gives you something like ear, ear. So, chien, vient, tient, lien. Okay, this is the IEN combination. Guys, understand that even though it is ending in EN, which standalone is a nasal sound for me, but IEN put together is different. It's a separate nasal sound, it's a separate sound. So, chien, vient, tient, lien. Okay. MENT, you've seen this so many times and so many examples that we were doing around masculine words and the adjectives and all of that. So MENT is more, more. Appartement, monument, rapidement. Once again, appartement, monument, rapidement. Okay. Try to understand this from the point of view that this is not your conjugation. If your conjugations, like your ER conjugations, when they end in ENT, we don't pronounce it. Like when we have parle, marche, savent, for example. Here, our rule is that we don't pronounce the NT in the end. It's parle, marche, savent. Please don't confuse this with MENT. Okay, MENT is different. So it's appartement, monument, rapidement. Okay. The letters M and N. Let's just look at a couple of examples with M and M. The vowel sound is said through the nose. So let's just look at a few examples just for practice. Bon, pain, un, mama, maman, son, son, maman, son. Let's try another vowel which follows M or N and they are pronounced normally then. Animal, sonnerie, cinéma, mon ami. Okay? Now, there's a small like game sort of a thing that we have. I would just ask anybody who wants to volunteer and read any sentence. So these are like tongue twisters in French. Anyone who wants to try the first one. Anyone who wants to volunteer can probably like unmute themselves at their will and glory and can try out maybe. The first one.
I can do that.
Okay, super. Please go ahead.
So the first is 5 chiens, chassons, 6 chats.
Okay, 5 chiens chassent.
Chasse. Got it.
Please, cha. Why is it chasse? Because like I said that when you're conjugating and it's in an ER verb conjugation ending with ENT, then you pronounce,
Not
remember I gave you this example, parle,
Yeah.
marche, save. Same logic. This is going to be chasse.
पानी चालू है नीचे रहती है
Yeah?
Yep.
But
Got
good
it.
job. Chasse. Super. Very good. Not bad. Very nice. Super. Anyone else who wants to try maybe the second or the third one?
Ma'am, I can
try.
Okay, so let's do one thing. Khushbu, you try one. Sagar, you try one. We'll start with you, Sagar. Pick one and try. Khushbu, you go next.
okay
Bison, c'est 6 singes suisses.
Qui sont ces 6 singes suisses? Very nice.
Singes. Okay.
Very nice. Super. Khushbu, your turn. Which one would you like to try?
where vient blanc bien sucré
Vin. So remember, V-I-N-S, I-N is un. So vin, blanc, bien sucré. Try.
vin blanc bien sucré
Super. Excellent. Very good. I hope that, I mean, these are just some fun tongue twisters we sort of do in class for fun. You want to try one, Bhumi, as well?
Yeah, the fifth one.
Yeah, okay, go ahead. Which one would you like to try? 5th, 6th, 7th, which one?
The fifth one.
Okay.
Son, chant, chanter, sa, chanson,
Son chat
son,
chante
chant, sa, chanson,
chanson.
chanson.
Good job. Let's try once again.
Son, chant, sa, chanson.
Chanson.
Chanson, sorry.
Very good. Very good. You got that right now. Perfect. Maintenant, c'est correct. Son
So
chat
all tongue-
chante sa
All
chanson.
tongue twister. All tongue twister.
They're fun. Honestly, they're fun. I mean, just make a game out of who gets it right the first. How many times can one say it? I think I'm pretty sure you must have played the game with some tongue twisters in your own mother tongue as well. So these are some very
Yes.
basic ones, like classroom games for French tongue twisters. They're fun. They bring out a very competitive spirit. So maybe you can try. But it's nice. I'm glad that you guys are putting in an effort in trying and you guys are getting it quite accurately correct. That's superb. That's great. Okay. Alors, thank you so much. You guys were really good. Yeah. Thank you. I'm glad that you guys were able to work the tongue twister. It was very difficult for me, but you guys are doing a great job. So that's superb.
Ma'am,
And
can
this
we get
document will be shared again, right, Ilaksi?
Yes, they will be, and they're also available right after the session as well on YouTube. So they're at your convenience. Whenever you want to refer to it, they're there for you, and they would be shared.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So far, just to let you guys know, we covered phonetics in 2 distinct sessions. Last week, where we covered 5 important elements around alphabets, consonant pronunciation, silent letters, accents, and liaison. And today's session, where we covered 3 important elements, but of course they are wider in range: the vowels, the combination sounds, and the nasal sounds. Like I said, once you're able to absorb all of this and you see a new word, start dissecting it. And you realize that all these phonetics will fit right in and you'll get the sound right. Okay, so half your battle is done there. As you all know, for your TEF, TCF, both the examinations that you have for speaking, one of the criterias on which you're evaluated out of the many criteria, such as your content, your comprehension, your cohesion, all of these put together, there's one which is massively on pronunciation. I'm not saying that if your pronunciation is wrong, hey, you will not get any score. Of course, there are other criteria that you can score in, but pronunciation is a major make or break. So while you guys are still at your A1s and A2 levels, try to master this first. Because once you're in B1 and B2 level, there, what you want to master is your content, your knowledge. You want to expand that. So your B1 and B2 should be focused around that. Let your A1 and A2 be around mastering and getting a hold of all of these pronunciations and phonetics, okay? Once again, all the videos would be available anyway available on YouTube, so they're there, so that's not a problem. But I really hope that this helped you guys out. For those of you who actually came on and participated in the end, thank you so much, guys. That was a fun tongue twister. I don't know how you guys did it. I couldn't, but I finally got it after a lot of practice, and you guys still got it, so kudos to you. Makes me think something was wrong with me, but I'm glad if I was able to help you out even a little bit. I'm really happy to do that. Okay, so I hope you guys had an informative session today. For those of you who missed out the first one, you know where you have to get the access for it. But if you guys still have any doubts, you guys come across words, road signs, whatever, and you can't still crack the pronunciation, you know where to find us. Just reach out. Okay, we'll make sure that you get it to the T. Okay, perfect. Let us know how you felt about this session. It's great, and if you have any feedback, that's too, we're all open to it. If you want to have any future sessions on any particular topics, all ears, guys, all ears. Okay, I'll be happy to prep on it and present these sessions to you if they help you. Okay, alors super. Okay, on va terminer la session ici. Okay, we're going to finish the session here today. Thank you so much. I talked most of the time, of course, but thank you so much for being attentive and all yours. Okay, merci beaucoup. Au revoir. Au
Merci
revoir.
beaucoup.
Au revoir.
À bientôt.